Madhukar, may I hand over to you, please?
Jason and Bal Monkur will be hosting a press conference and will be with us for lunch, so you people can interact with them. Without further ado, and the much-awaited moment, definitely for all of us, the inaugural address by the Honorable Minister.
Mr. Pradeep Guha, Chairperson, AFA, Mr. Madhukar Kamath, Chairman of the Organizing Committee, distinguished delegates. A really big welcome to all the international delegates from 25 countries, I'm told, and to all my Indian friends on behalf of the Government of India. I'm very happy to be a part of your Asia conference. I'm afraid I cannot say that I would like to be a member of AdAsia because of the job I happen to be doing at the moment. But if anybody was to take my opinion on what I would like to be after all these years of experience of living, I would like to say somewhere near the advertising world. I'm happy to be a part of your conference, therefore. All of you are such highly innovative and skilled people. We just saw the release of a book which takes us from 1948 to 2010. And I do believe that you make the wheels of commerce move globally. Your theme for this conference, uncertainty, the only certainty, makes me feel that I'm quite qualified to do the inaugural honors. With over 40 years in the power play of a political party in a thriving democracy to my credit, I know that the only certainty is that things will always be uncertain. Most of the changes the world has witnessed over the last 2 decades have been media and technology driven. The changes brought about by technology and globalization, of which you just referred to in earlier speeches, have also impacted the social, cultural, and political fabric of the world. Increasingly, issues are not local anymore or even national, but common with global ramifications. Let's look at the happening of 9/11, the military turmoil in Iraq and Afghanistan, the events of the Arab Spring, and so many other such happenings. All these bear testimony to being of global dimensions. Political events have a bearing on economic dimensions of situation. A social upheaval cannot be separated from market turbulence, as you all know. A nuclear accident at Fukushima or floods in Thailand can affect global supplies of cars and automobile parts. Diversion of land and food grains for the production of biofuels can adversely impact worldwide food prices. But all this is not doom and gloom in the scenario that is emerging with the march of technology and globalization. Increasing prosperity and demands in countries of especially the Asian continent, and more especially in big populated countries like China, Brazil, and India, can offer hope even during economic slowdowns. Let me talk of India's economic growth rates. They have been consistent and they have been high. The middle classes have been greatly empowered. Our government is investing heavily in both health and education, among other infrastructures. Increasing literacy at the basic level has been one of our foremost tasks. The overall literacy rate for the country in 2011 census has gone up 10 points to reach over 74% of those literate. This has led to a boom in print media. We have one of the largest newspaper markets in the world. I am told that more than 107 million copies of newspapers are circulated daily. Of course, we have a population of 1.21 billion, but still 107 million newspaper copies circulated daily is no small figure. In India, over 100 million, give and take a few, users access the internet, a number which is growing exponentially. In order to facilitate greater access to communication facilities, the Government of India recently approved the creation of a national optical fiber network for providing broadband connectivity to the lowest rung of administration at the village level. Look at the growth of the broadcasting industry, both TV and radio. From 10 TV channels somewhere in 1999 to 800 channels at national and regional levels in more than 20 major languages, TV covers approximately 140 million homes today. The government has approved a few weeks ago the mandatory introduction of digital addressable systems in the cable TV services, leading to a complete sunset of the analog cable TV by 31st December 2014. With the auction of the FM radio Phase 3, over 839 radio stations will cover 280 cities which have a population of over 100,000. Media and entertainment are among the fastest growing sectors of the Indian economy. At the same time, these sectors provide the biggest and most effective platform for advertising. I have no doubt that advertising, as I said earlier, is one of the principal engines of growth for any economy. As the Indian economy moves from a production society to a consumption society, advertising will have an increasingly important role to play. India does have a vibrant advertising and marketing industry. I'm told that the advertising market in India has grown from under 10,000 crores to what was just mentioned, 30,000 crore rupees in the last 10 years, a growth rate which I'm sure many countries would envy. Your Goa festival, which is annually held for the last several years, attracts around 3,000 delegates and has become a landmark event for advertisers in this part of the world. But effective advertising requires a multitude of diverse skills, and it is conferences like these which stimulate debate and discussions that can go a long way in inspiring the quality and effectiveness of advertising. My government is itself a large advertiser, we think so, through the Directorate of Advertising and Visual Publicity. We are in the process of revamping the directorate and professionalizing it to match the private sector's capability. Our Bharat Nirman program campaigns, which are the flagship programs of the Government of India, and as you just mentioned, our earlier campaigns of Incredible India, both nationally and internationally, created their own ripples. I am also told, and I know in the last 2 years, that measurement, the TRPs, are critical to the growth of advertising. I am also being constantly told that the advertisers spend precious money and they have to invest in the right places and at the right time and at the right prices, and government has no right to interfere. That's true. But media measurement systems in readership as well as TV ratings need to be robust and reflective of the country's demographic realities and its socio-cultural and economic diversities, and therefore need to be constantly assessed and upgraded by the industry itself. My government is committed to the freedom of the press. I'm glad the broadcast industry has set up self-regulatory mechanisms to address viewer complaints and to take corrective steps. Advertising is an integral part of the freedom of expression. It is impossible in a democracy to separate the freedom of publishing or broadcasting news, opinions, or entertainment from the freedom of advertising. Advertising is a powerful tool, no doubt, but it also has to be used with sensitivity and responsibility. The consumer's interest is paramount, especially when the consumer is getting empowered increasingly. India has a strong self-regulation movement in advertising as well, and we are very happy with the way it is working through a body called ASCI, Advertising Standards Council of India, and I think many of our Indian delegates would be members of ASCI. My government is committed to private enterprise and a free society, where fair competition plays a prominent part and will offer all help to the private sector to promote their products and grow their industry as long as it is in the overall interest of freedom of choices, freedom of competition, and interest of society at large. Before I end, I would like to request you by mentioning that corporate social responsibility is a major activity recognized all over the world. And I would urge you, during your deliberations, to discuss and in future use your skill for messages, especially in the areas of health and education, with a view of targeting the weaker sections for their betterment and in collaboration with private advertisers. Because I am convinced that consumers are rewarding those advertisers whom they see doing good for society by patronizing their products. New mediums like the community radio station systems, which my ministry is giving an incentive to, will provide direct access to the beneficiary groups in a large country like India. I hope that you all will benefit. I was going through the program, very impressive, and I hope you all will benefit from the 20-odd interactive sessions over the next 3 days of this Congress. But I hope it's not going to be all work. But I was told that there are 2 types of content for this conference: the content and the super content. Now, the super content is what I would like you to concentrate on: sightseeing, Indian cuisine, and just enjoying yourselves in this great, glorious weather of the 1st of November to the 4th of November. Good luck to you. Have a great conference and many more in the future. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Ms. Soni. If you could please stand. Thank you, Madhukar. Could we please have the token of appreciation brought out on stage? Thank you. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Madhukar.